1 cup of English.
Real English for real life.
Today's episode is for every single person who has ever sat in a taxi abroad and felt that specific mix of panic, embarrassment, and absolutely no idea what to say.
We're going to take you through a real taxi ride in English, not the textbook version. Not, please proceed to the destination at your earliest convenience. The real version.
The version where the driver talks too fast, the route looks wrong, and you're not sure if you're being charged double.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Sophia. And if you've ever just nodded and smiled in a taxi because you had no idea what was happening, this one is for you.
Leave a like if you have a taxi story, and subscribe if you want English that actually works in real life, not just in textbooks. But before we get into the actual phrases, let's talk about why a taxi feels so scary in the first place, because I think it helps to name it.
So why is a taxi ride so stressful in a foreign language? Because it looks simple from the outside. You get in, you say where you're going, you pay, you leave. That's 4 steps.
4 steps that somehow turn into 27 moments of panic.
Exactly, because in a taxi, you can't prepare, you can't look things up, you can't pause the conversation. It's happening right now in real time with a stranger who doesn't know you're nervous.
And the driver is usually not waiting. They ask, you answer. There's no thinking time.
And it's not just the language, it's everything at once. You don't know the city, you don't know if the price is fair, you don't know if the driver understood you. You're just sitting there hoping.
And if something goes wrong, the wrong route, a problem with payment, a driver who won't stop talking, you have to handle it in English, in a moving car with your suitcase taking up half the back seat.
But here's the thing, and this is what today is really about. You don't need perfect English to handle a taxi ride abroad. You need the right English. A few real phrases for the real moments that actually happen.
So, let's do this properly. We're going to take you through the ride moment by moment, starting from the very beginning.
Situation 1. Getting in and telling the driver where to go.
Okay, you found your taxi. You get in. The driver says, "Where to?" or "Where are you headed?" This is the moment most people freeze, because suddenly all you can think is, how do I say this? What if I pronounce the address wrong? What if he doesn't understand?
So here's what you do. You say the address simply and clearly. You don't need an introduction. You don't need to apologize. Just, "Hi, I'm going to 14 Baker Street, please." Or even shorter, "Baker Street number 14, please."
If you're not sure about the pronunciation, you can say, "I have the address here. Would it be easier if I show you?" And you show your phone. Completely normal. Drivers do this all day.
And if you're going to a hotel or a well-known place, it's even simpler. Just, "The Marriott on 5th Avenue, please." Or, "To the airport, please. Terminal 2. Simple, clear, done.
The key is, you don't need to say more than that. You don't need to explain why you're going there or how your flight was. 1 sentence is enough. Okay, so you're in. You've given the address. The driver nods. You relax for exactly 3 seconds. And then, situation 2. The driver won't stop talking.
Now, the chatty driver. This person exists in every country, in every language, at every hour of the day. They want to know where you're from, what you think of their city, whether you've tried the local food, and what you do for work, all before you've left the airport.
And some days that's actually fun. But some days you just got off a 9-hour flight, your neck hurts, and the last thing you want is a conversation.
So what do you say? You can be honest and polite at the same time. Something like, "Sorry, I'm a bit tired from the flight. I might just be quiet for a bit if that's okay." And then you can smile and look out the window.
That phrase is important because it explains without being rude. You're not saying go away. You're saying I'm tired. Most people completely understand that.
And if the driver keeps going, because some of them really do keep going, you can just say, mm-hmm, and yeah, and not occasionally. That also works.
That's not English advice, that's survival advice.
Sometimes survival is the goal. All right, the driver is quiet now, but you've just looked at your phone, and the map doesn't look right. Situation 3. The route looks wrong.
Okay, this is the stressful one. You're in the taxi, you're watching the map on your phone, and something doesn't feel right. The driver is going in a direction that looks longer or different from what you expected.
First, stay calm. There are many reasons a driver takes a different route. Traffic, roadworks, a faster road that isn't obvious on the map. It doesn't automatically mean something is wrong.
But if you're genuinely unsure, you can ask politely, "Sorry, I'm just checking the map. Is this the fastest route right now?" That's it. You're not accusing anyone, you're just asking.
And most drivers will explain completely normally. They'll say, yeah, there's traffic on the main road, or this is actually quicker. And that's fine.
But if you're still uncomfortable, you can say, "Could we take the main road, please? I'd prefer that route." You have the right to say that. You're the passenger.
The important thing is to say something early, not 10 minutes later when you're already somewhere completely different.
Okay, the route is fine. Everything is fine. But now it's very, very quiet. Situation 4. Awkward silence and small talk. So not everyone gets the chatty driver. Sometimes you get the completely silent driver. And then a different kind of awkward happens. You're sitting there in total silence, not sure if you should say something or just stare at your phone.
If you want to say something, the easiest thing is a simple comment about the city. It's my first time here. It looks beautiful. Or, is it always this busy? Short, easy, and the driver can answer as much or as little as they want.
And if you don't want to say anything, that's also completely fine. You don't owe anyone a conversation. Looking out the window is a valid life choice.
Especially after a long journey. Sometimes you just need to watch the city go by. And now you can see your destination through the window. Almost there. Situation 5. Paying and leaving.
Almost there. The driver pulls up to your destination. Now you need to pay. If there's a meter, it's simple. You look at the number and pay that amount. But it's always good to check first. Do you take card? Because not every taxi does.
If it's cash only and you only have a big note, you can say, sorry, I only have a 50. Do you have change? That's a very normal thing to say. Don't be embarrassed.
And if you want to give a tip, which in many countries is expected, you can say, keep the change. Simple, natural, polite.
And when you get out, especially if it was a good ride, a simple, thanks a lot, have a good one, goes a long way. It's small, but it feels human.
And if you had a terrible ride and you're just relieved to be out, thanks also works. No extra words required. You made it. Ride complete. And now, let's go back through the words and phrases that got you there. Okay, word tour time. Today we have 5 phrases, all of them for real taxi moments, things you can actually use tomorrow.
First one, headed, as in, where are you headed?
Headed means going, traveling towards somewhere. The driver might ask, where are you headed? And you can also use it yourself. I'm headed to the city center. It sounds much more natural than I am going to the city center.
Say it with us. Headed. Where are you headed? I'm headed to the hotel.
Second phrase, take a different route. This one is for when something on the map looks wrong.
You can say, are we taking a different route? That's a question, not an accusation. Or, could we take the main road, please? You're asking, not demanding.
And route just worth noting, is pronounced differently in British and American English. In British English, route rhymes with root. In American English, route rhymes with out. Both are completely correct.
Third one, keep the change. This is what you say when you pay and you don't need the driver to give you back the small coins or notes.
So if the fare is $18 and you give $20, you say, keep the change. The driver keeps the $2 as a tip. It's a perfectly natural phrase. Native speakers say this all the time.
Fourth phrase, I might just be quiet for a bit. This is your polite exit from a conversation you don't want to have.
You can say, sorry, I'm a bit tired. I might just be quiet for a bit if that's okay. It's soft, it's kind, and it works. Nobody is going to argue with tired.
And our last word, fare. The fare is the price of the taxi ride. Not fee, not cost, not price, fare. That's the word taxi drivers use.
You can ask, what's the fare to the airport? Or the driver might say, the fare comes to £12. Just fare. One small word that immediately sounds like you know what you're doing. That's it. That's genuinely enough to handle a real taxi ride in English.
Okay, we want to hear your taxi story because we know you have one.
I'll go first. I once got in a taxi in another country, gave the driver the address, he nodded, and then drove me to completely the wrong place, a street with a similar name. I didn't say anything for 15 minutes because I was too nervous to question him. We ended up 20 minutes in the wrong direction.
I got into a taxi once, and the driver immediately started asking me about politics, international politics, at 7 in the morning, after a red-eye flight. And I just sat there saying, and hoping we arrived quickly.
Survival mode. We've all been there.
What about you? Leave your taxi story in the comments. It doesn't have to be dramatic, even just one moment where you didn't know what to say. We read every single one. And before you go, if this episode gave you even one phrase you're going to remember the next time you're in a taxi abroad, please give it a like. It takes 1 second and it genuinely helps us reach more people who need this.
And if you want to feel this prepared for every real English situation, not just taxis, subscribe. New episodes every week, all of them built around the moments that actually happen in real life.
Also, leave a comment with your taxi story or tell us which phrase from today felt most useful. Keep the change? I might just be quiet for a bit. Are we taking a different route?
We read every comment, and honestly, your stories are the best part of making this podcast. So thank you for being here.
Take care.
See you in the next one.